Sock Passe.
Hey, what's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the Team Sock Passe podcast. My name is Glad.
And I'm your boy, Rob. We are your favorite Team Sock Passe podcast show where we interview great entrepreneurs from all sectors of industry. And remember, subscribe, share, comment below. Subscribe, share, comment below.
We've got a special guest, dear to our heart, right, Rob?
Yes. Big.
This
is big right here.
We're talking everything public relations, and we're going to be talking about a little law too. Ladies and gentlemen, big welcome to Miss Sandi Kane. Did I say that right?
No, but that's okay.
AKA Sandi Kane.
Yes, it's Sandra Giordane.
Giordane.
Yes.
We just call you SK.
Yes.
SK Public Relations.
How you doing? Thanks for doing this.
Ooh, welcome,
Finally.
welcome.
Finally.
It's an honor to be here,
Oh,
especially during Women's History Month. So thank you for inviting me.
No doubt.
It only took 4 months because you're busy. She's extremely
Now,
busy.
We have a lot of history together, and
Mhm.
we're gonna go down, memory lane. But just to get started right away, you have a law background, so we're gonna talk about that too a little bit later. But let's get right into it. As far as public relations, what was it? What was that thing for you that got you down the path of doing PR?
Well, PR fell in my lap. I was, when Instagram first started, I was working out a lot. And then my sister used to go to Haitian parties a lot. And so she invited me to go, and I would go and I would meet the artists and just hanging out, and I'd post pictures. And DJ Will from Yak Radio sent me a message saying we're looking for a publicist for our radio station. I said, oh, okay, great. I could refer you someone because I don't do PR. And he said, no, we want you to do it. And so I called my friend Ruby and her sister Alex. Alex was a publicist at the time, and she said, that's totally you. Like, you talk to everyone, you know everyone, like, you should do it. And so I said yes. And so my first foray into public relations was with Yak Radio, a small radio station in Long Island. It was an internet-based radio station. Clay was the owner, and
Shout out to Clay.
Clay was great, and DJ Will was great. And that was my first foray into becoming a publicist.
So you didn't go to school for this, no experience.
No.
It's something that you said, I'm just gonna go ahead and just dive in and try it.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So just strictly relationship.
Just based off a relationship.
Off of relationship.
Yeah. And then once I got into it, I started joining different public relations groups. I met other publicists who helped shape me into the publicist that I am now.
Wow. So what is the correct definition of a publicist?
Well, you have publicists for different things. And with the way the world is evolving, the career of public relations have evolved, just like with any other career. So publicist is basically to help you have a brand manager, right? So the publicist is just pretty much getting the word out about who you are, getting you interviews. And now there's publicists that work on your social media, or you could get a social media platform manager. But it's just basically crafting your public message, who you are to the public, who when they see Sock Passe podcast, who you are, what do you mean to the public, to the community, to yourselves. So it's definitely important to have a publicist to just shape who you are and let people know who your brand is. Sometimes without a publicist, some people wouldn't even know who you are, and people confuse publicity with marketing, and, to have someone who does marketing is something totally different, but there are publicists that can do both. Okay. And then there's publicists that also put on events. I am more of the type that, puts on events, and also book interviews and make sure that I speak to publications so they know who my clients are, things like that. You partner with other publicists. So it's definitely important. People don't understand the value of publicity. And our job is just to let the world know who you are. Our job is not to bring up your sales. That's not my job. My job is not to a lot of people put things on publicists. That's not our job. Our job is basically, sometimes you can keep putting stuff in the press and nothing bites, and there's that one thing that goes viral, and that's why you think you're a publicist.
Oh wow,
it's a multifaceted
field. Yes.
And so you started within doing within the Haitian industry, correct?
Yes, I started with Yak Radio, but Yak Radio wasn't just Haitian. Yak Radio had, we created shows. We had a all-female show. We also did we had like a Jamaican show. There was a lot of American art radio shows. So we pretty much was a radio station. We just had different shows. And so I was able to connect with Haitian artists, American artists, Jamaican artists, Trinidadian. And so I loved the diversity of it. And so that's what I liked about working at the radio station.
Does every company need a publicist? Like how are budgets set? And how do you set your budget for working with a company?
When you first start out, I don't think you need a publicist because you have to build your brand, right? And you have to have a message to give to the publicist to work with. If you have an event that you would hire a publicist. Hey, we have this specific event and can you help us? Or you have a charity and you want, different people to come to your charity, or, other celebrities. That's how you, look at getting a publicist. But pretty much all major companies, even small, mid-sized companies, have publicists, and smaller brands also have publicists, because you want to get your name out and have a digital footprint. Press means everything. You want the blue check on Instagram and TikTok and everything like that. So I'm sorry, Instagram and I forget who else gives blue checks, but you want the blue check, and the blue check, they look at, are you published in a major publication? How many people interviewed you? Is this worthy enough to give you that check? So that's the importance of having a publicist.
Oh, okay. So now when you look at someone who's up and coming, and either it's an artist or a brand, now do you do all the research that you need to do? I'm just going through the steps as far as like reaching out to the actual brand. As a publicist, are you looking to push them like to a different plateau, different level, and exposing their brand to different cultures and genres of music? And so how do you say, okay, well, I'm going to take this brand and then I'm going to put it on this platform, I'm going to put it on that platform? How do you differentiate that and say this looks good for them? Like, how does that, because I'm thinking why I'm asking that is because of, like, you have the manager, publicist, marketing manager. How does a publicist stands out from all of?
Well, you all have to have that conversation.
Oh, okay.
As a team. And okay. What's the mission? What's the goal of the company and what they're trying to do?
Okay.
I've worked with smaller companies and artists and authors, and so their goal was specific. They just wanted to get publicity. They just wanted to be exposed to different markets. They had a manager as well. Some did, some didn't. Oh, right. Okay. It depends on who you're working with. Like you guys, when I came in with you guys didn't have a manager. No. We just all talked and figured out what we wanted to do. And I saw the missing link for you guys. And so sometimes the publicist is the person that sees the missing link and tries to connect it for you, because you may not see it.
Okay.
And we help craft your story. So you may think, oh, I'm just making a t-shirt for X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, wait a minute, you could take that t-shirt and do this, and that will bring and connect the story. You want to, I'm the one, when I pitch to a reporter, I have to make sure I make the story newsworthy to that reporter.
Mm.
So as a publicist, I have to research the different publications. I have to know what they write about to make them want to write about you. You know, so I have to have that catchy spin to the story that said, oh, you know what? I'm going to pick up that story. And then they'll continue on with that story.
So you put the salt and pepper on it.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
a little hot sauce.
A little hot sauce on that. Yeah, okay.
So
That's what's
you
up.
mentioned a key word because we're focused on that right now as we're growing. Sponsorship, right? Rob?
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
does sponsorship work?
There's different types of sponsorships. You know, it depends on what you're trying to do. And you have to align yourself, and we don't call them sponsorships as much anymore. We call them partnerships. So you align yourself with different companies who have the same vision, or they may have a mission statement or a project that they want to get off the ground. So they look to see, can we align with these people to create this, you know, campaign, right? Certain companies miss the mark, where they could have reached out to the Latino community for something that they're doing, and they don't consult someone of a Latino background and say, this would be a great partnership for you, or, you know, and so that's why you see some campaign fails. You know, they're like, oh, they totally missed the mark. They didn't even have a black person. Did they have a Latino, black, or Asian person in the room? And so with sponsorships, partnerships, you want to align yourself with a bigger brand that can help you financially. Sometimes partnerships are just to have the name standing behind you.
I was going to mention that. Is it always a monetary?
Yeah, it's not always monetary.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll, you know, they'll give you the space to host your event, or they'll give you, you know, the deliverables such as like pamphlets or, you know, things that you need. Or sometimes they may, if they partner with you, let's say a Verizon or a T-Mobile, they'll give you a charging station at your event so that people could charge their cell phones. So all those are partnerships, you know.
Gotcha.
So and you have to be creative in offering partnerships, especially now with the pandemic. They have a certain amount of money that they can give for sponsorships and partnerships. And so you just have to make sense when you pitch to them and make them see, okay, this would be a great business relationship.
Okay.
Got you.
Wow. Okay. So, wow, that's pretty good.
No, it's very informative.
That's very, very informative. So how you got?
Please.
So,
I got a lot of questions.
Yeah. So, how does one get involved with, nowadays everyone is like supposedly a publicist, like, you know, an artist is their own publicist, their own marketing manager, their own. You as a publicist, you coming in and say, hey, look, I want to take you to the next level. How do you approach an artist?
I don't approach artists.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay.
I some people do.
Okay.
But most of the people that I've had are either referrals or they've seen the work that I've done and they'll reach out to me. And you know, sometimes the fit is just not a fit, you know, for you and a particular person, or, you know, what they're requesting is not something that would, you know, I'm excited about doing. And that's for any publicist. You want to be excited about, you know, the client and the project, and, you know, to really get into it. So you could
turn it down at any time.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
There's some people that feel like, oh, I want a publicist, and if I get a publicist, I'm going to get $50 million, and that's not my job. I do not increase your salary. You know, I help you get the publicity and the word out about your brand.
Yeah.
What are some other attributes or some other things that you can share with up-and-coming publicists out there who wants to get their feet wet in this industry?
Don't be afraid to just try. You might have an idea that no one else has, and just do it. You know, research your client, make sure you do what you say you're going to do. I underpromise and overdeliver. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. That's the worst thing you can do.
That's key.
You know, and when I say underpromise, I don't mean like I lowball myself. It's just that you have to manage everyone's expectations. And don't tell people like, oh, I can get you in Fox and Vibe, and you don't know. That's not, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have to just, build relationships. Relationships are key. You build relationships with different writers. You build relationships with different bloggers. You build relationships with other publicists. And when you have a good name, things come to you easier. When I started, like I said, no one knew who I was. And I just spoke to different people, and if they had an event, I would assist them with that event, and vice versa, and they got to know me. And if I asked for something, they're like, hey Sandi, no problem, I'll help you out, or vice versa. So I believe in relationships. I think relationships are very important, and as a new up and coming publicist, just realize the relationships that you're going to build, and your reputation is everything.
Wow. Rob, remember the word relationships. I got a story to tell after later.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No.
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm ready to go down a memory lane.
Yeah. We got to take it back. 2000.
When did we meet? 2000.
We met
Runway
Pride,
right?
Right.
2016,
16 or 17.
Or 17,
something like that. Yeah.
Tell us the story of how we met, because obviously you knew about us before we officially met you. So share your story.
So I went to La Nuit des Jeunes, right?
Mhm.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think it wasn't La Nuit des Jeunes. It was a party at Amazura.
Okay.
And you guys were throwing out sac passe t-shirts.
Right.
And I caught one. It was an orange one. It
Okay.
was bright orange. I wear it to, and I was like,
that was the beginning of the
yeah, it was bright orange, and I was like, wow, these guys can go far with sac passe. I thought it was a dope concept. I said, wow, they just need a good, I didn't know what a publicist was at the time.
Okay.
This is before I got into it. I was like, they just need someone to really put their name out there. This is great. And fast forward to like 2 years later, I think it was. Yeah. And I met Ron, Haitian Ron, and I saw that you guys were advertising for Runway Pride and you needed models. I was like, Ron, let me do this. Let me do the PR for this. And then he invited me, and that's when I met you guys. And I just was so excited. And I volunteered my services for that. I was so excited because I wanted the Haitian culture to get exposure outside of the Haitian culture. And I felt like all this work that you're putting into it, everybody needs to know who you guys are, sac passe, Haitian rock, Fritz, De Jacques, Vejoli. I felt like you guys were impactful in the community, and I thought you guys would be the creators of the Haitian fashion industry. And so that's why I wanted to
HFI.
That's why I wanted to work with Runway Pride, and then I got to meet you guys, and we formed a relationship, and here we are.
Wow.
Now I remember that day after Runway Pride, right? Sandi was like, she wanted to work with us,
right?
And I forgot where we linked up, but she gave us a whole presentation, bro, like a whole PowerPoint.
Yeah,
it was and then it was that dollar sign was a lot too.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that, but
was
I mean, you really helped us get to the next level. And share with us the strategy, because as a publicist, there's a publicist out here who wants to get into it. You have to have different strategies working with your clients. So what was your strategy working with us when you met with us? What did you see? Because you were looking on the outside looking in, right? Talk to us about that.
Okay, so for me, presentation is everything. And so when I did present you the PowerPoint presentation,
it was a crazy PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah,
I wanted you to
a lot of money.
It wasn't only about money. I can't stand glass. I made sure that you understood the impact that you had, right? And I said, if you do this, X, Y, and Z will happen. If you, for every situation, if you have this event, this is what you should see, as an outcome. This is, projections. And I think that's another important thing. Publicists should have like a deliverable to you, right? I said, I'm going to do this in this amount of time, and I did it. Yeah. And I reported back to you. Yeah, it wasn't just like I was flying by the seat of my pants. Yeah. And so for you guys, you were in the HMI, but you had Donna Caring wearing your clothes. That should have been, this is before we met. That should have been everywhere, right? Yeah. You guys gave sneakers to a soccer team in the Caribbean. That should have been everywhere. Right. So my goal was for everything that you did, someone has to see it besides us. Someone has to see it and know your resume. And that was my goal, just to make people outside of the culture appreciate what you guys are doing. Just like when I worked with Ayala Gold Cremas. I mean, I reached out to Marie, and Marie had the cremas, and Tony Sunshine, rapper, was sipping on cremas, and that's what it is about, having people outside of the culture appreciate us. Right. We're not just, sac passe and, the other things, that they say about us. We're more than that. Right. And we have such an impact in the entertainment industry. When you go back and see who else was Haitian in the entertainment industry, in the movie industry, in the legal world, in pharmacy world, like Haitians are everywhere, right. And so Sac Passe was just like showing pride. Right. And so I wanted us to continue showing pride everywhere else outside of the community.
Yeah. And you definitely, I applaud you on that, because you definitely did go above and beyond. Late night.
She had us everywhere, guys. Everywhere.
She had us everywhere. She had us on point. She had us at top. There were times that, we had a few fallouts.
And we're going to talk about that.
We had a few fallouts, but there were times that she was just like, look, I need y'all here. I don't care what's going on. Y'all need to stop what you're doing and make it happen. This is where you guys need to be. And she saw further than us at times.
Yeah. I mean, she basically said, you guys did everything, everything you did in the Haitian community, you guys did a good job. Now I'm going to take it to the next level.
Like 10X it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
so we're on red carpets with DJ Envy and all these people. Like, dope. She had us all over the place.
It was dope. Yeah. It was definitely dope.
Definitely dope.
It was dope. But you got to have, as a publicist, you got to have a little bit of confidence too. I see that in yourself. Like when it's, okay, Showtime, it's a totally different SK now. It's like, no, you ask her. I ain't asking her.
Definitely is.
No, you definitely gotta have confidence, and especially working. I noticed within the culture as well. Like it's not many women publicists. I want to say, like, I see that within the Black culture. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scene. But then, as a Black female publicist, that must take a lot of, that's stressful of its own, because obviously of the entertainment industry being predominantly male. So that's something that I can see why you.
And another thing too, when like your clients are on the red carpet, I make sure that my clients talk to every single person on the red carpet. Yes. I don't care if it's a white publication or a Black publication. Yep. Mm-hmm. A lot of celebrities hire white publicists, and the white publicists will shirk the Black journalists and bloggers and just make sure that their client only speaks to the star and the people. And that's why I respect Halle Berry. She's like, no, I want to speak to this young Black lady. And a lot of artists have done that. Started to do it.
Starting to do that.
Right. Started to do that. Yeah. And I think as a Black publicist, we are cognizant of that. Right. I make, you remember, I made sure you guys spoke to every person. I don't care if they had one follower on that blog. I made sure that you spoke to that person, because that could help their career.
You just never know.
You just never know.
Right.
And so,
And you came fully invested when you were working with us because, like, it's like she had a team. She had, her sister was behind her. And Mimi Planned Events came through. Like,
shout out to Mimi.
Yeah, shout out to Mimi Planned Events.
Yeah,
like, you came when you. It wasn't only you. You had a crew behind you. You know what I mean?
All black women at that.
Yeah,
it was just like
it was
starting
what's up.
five.
It's definitely what's up. It's definitely what's up. Talk about. I think you should mention to that. You said like Tupac did. All in, like, before he blew up, he did a bunch of interviews.
Yes.
So that's the same concept that you had.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Tupac did if you want to interview him, he was like, okay, let's do the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was great. That was great because these are the people that helped you get here. These are your fans, before the masses. And a lot of the writers and bloggers from back then always appreciate that about him. And I want people to appreciate my clients and respect my clients because my clients give them the same respect back. And I think that's important.
Now, before we talk about some highlights of SK, let's talk about...
Say highlights.
Oh, there's a lot of highlights.
Definitely a lot.
I could tell you 2 off the top of my head. But at times, the relationship became more than just you became, our publicist. It was like... this is our sister working with us, right?
Right.
It was like a sister-brother relationship. And at times we felt that SK was like almost like a spiritual advisor because we were just all over the place,
we were
right?
all over the place, bro.
Like we were all over the place. So, she was kind of helping us.
Yeah.
Because there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
And then there was that one time.
Which one time?
There's a few one times.
Well, let's talk about the time that you were heated.
That's a few times.
That time we went to Miami.
Oh, okay.
Talk about that
time.
That was
crazy.
So
Joe would have been tight.
So
you gotta share this experience.
Ooh, Lord.
There's 3 experiences we gotta talk about. 2 Miamis.
Okay.
So the first one, there's an event that was happening in Miami. And as their publicist, I was like, wow, this is something that they should do and be a part of. I called the person. I said, hey, I have, sac passe, and they could be hosts for this event. And can you send me information? Are you still looking for hosts? Yes, we're looking for hosts. That would be great for them to be here. We're going to send you the hotel information. I sent the deck. I always send a deck. As a publicist, even if you're not computer savvy, you have to learn certain things because sometimes you don't have time to call graphic artists to do what you need to do. So I created a deck. I always send out decks, tying the brand with whatever it is that I want them to do. So as I'm speaking to this person, I realized I didn't get any flight information. I didn't get this. And I told the guys, don't do it. We're not doing it. I told the person that we're not going to do it, whatever. Rob wants to do it. And I said, Rob, I talked to Glad. I said, Glad, don't do it. If you're going to go out there, you might be stranded. There's no hotel. Like, this lady's not giving me any information. I don't think that it's good for your brand. You don't need to go. Like, don't waste your time. That night, Glad was like, yeah, we're not going to go. The next day, I'm in a meeting and I get a call from Gil. Gil, shout out to Gil. That's my homie.
Rios.
That's another
Gil
person
Rios,
that I work
big shout out
with.
to you, bro.
So I just want to give a shout out to my team. Gil Rios, Mimi Planned Events, my sister Camille. We were a team. I had the event planner here. My sister was the budget person. Gil was my videographer. And that's how I came with everything. I was a full package. And then I had, different graphic artists working on different things. Anyway, I get a call that morning and from Gil. And Gil was like, yo, Sandy, we're out here, at the airport going to Miami. I said, you're at the airport? What are you doing at the airport? And he's like, yeah, Rob and Glad called me and we're going to Miami. And I was like, you're doing what? I said, put Glad on the phone. Glad.
Put the hoodie on.
I said, put good. I said, you're
It
going.
was bad.
I said, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Don't call me. And
Oh,
whatever
my
happens to you
God.
down there happens to you. I told you not to go. And you promised me you're not going to go. I just went off. I was so upset.
Leo energy.
And Rob wouldn't even come on the phone. I said, I don't want to hear it. I was like, don't call me. I don't care. I'm done. I'm not working with you guys anymore. That's my go-to. I'm done.
It literally went just like that.
Yeah. She's like, I am not working with you.
I'm
no
done.
more.
Because
Damn.
this doesn't even make sense. What are you doing? So they get down there, they calling me. I said, didn't I tell you not to call me? I don't want to hear it. They didn't have, nothing was in order. Like I told them, she told him, Rob, that she was going to do nothing.
Yeah, it was like 5 a.m.
Yeah, 5 in the
Like,
morning,
5 in the morning,
and they
I'm
made
talking to
some
her,
cockamamie decision to go. And I said,
Mhm.
oh, okay, all right. And when they came back, I ripped them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I went
That
off.
was, I have to say, that part, I was
Yeah.
stubborn, the Taurus in me, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was stubborn, and I persuaded Glad, because I was like, bro, I don't know.
I mean, all you kept saying was like, yo, we good. I said, you sure?
Because
It was like, yo, we good. I said, you sure?
because the promoter spoke to me, and
That's
the
all
way
I
she
said.
presented it
That's
to
all
me,
I
it was like, here's the devil, here's the angel, and I'm hearing SK, and I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, this girl was like, literally, the promoter was literally like, oh, this is you guys stuff. Like, come down here, I got you, and don't worry about it. And it was
It was a disaster.
it was a shit show.
A disaster. A disaster. An absolute disaster,
Ooh,
Joe.
Lord.
It was crazy.
You talk about, you've been
Yeah.
tight, right, Joe? Like, yeah.
But we
Joe would've been pulling
stuck
the
it. We
wires
stuck
out.
it through many apologies, and SK she cooled down.
yeah.
She cooled down.
Thank God.
I mean, there were other stories too.
Oh,
Yeah,
there was
that's-
another one.
Oh.
Another Miami
This
story.
is yeah.
Go ahead.
I told Glad, all right, so I got everything done. Like, it was crazy. We did a major brand connection. And that's for me as a publicist, that was my thing. I made relationships with people. We got something that no one's ever done. And I made all these connections. I got the place for us to do it. We did. He said, oh, San, we're thinking of partnering or doing something. I said, why? No, we're not doing that. I worked for you guys. This is what we're doing. And he was like, no, I think we should do it. And he's arguing with me on the phone. I said, I'm telling you, no. Like, why? I said, I don't work for everybody else. I work for you guys, and this is your time to shine. Like, what am I missing? Right? So then he calls me, tells me that, oh, you know what? We're gonna do it. I said, oh yeah.
Ooh. He was
Oh
cocky.
yeah. I said, don't worry about it.
I was cocky. Yeah.
Yeah, I was cocky until Rob called me and was like, yo, bro, SK don't work for us anymore. He's like, yo, SK quit. I said, what?
I remember I was in my kitchen and I was like, bro, I almost burnt the chicken. I was so depressed.
He's like, yo, bro, what did you do to SK? I'm like, what are you talking about?
And I was done with him. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, Rob, I'm done. Glad doesn't listen. I'm trying to
and I'm like, wait,
And
hold on.
I said, no, I'm done. I hung up. And
Yeah,
then,
it was
Hey, brothers and sisters fight all the time. We made
Yes.
up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we made up.
yeah.
We're
No,
still here. It's all good. But
good.
it was
So,
crazy.
At least
It
we
was
can laugh
crazy.
about it now.
It was crazy.
yeah, it was.
But with that, we had major highlights,
Oof.
right?
Yes.
Sock by say DM.
Sock by say DM.
Amazing. Thank you, SK, for that. I mean, that one kind of fell on our lap, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're getting ready for Miami, and then you made the connection with Mike from DM, right? I think it was Reds.
Reds and
Got the Reds
Araton.
and Araton.
Mhm.
Shout out to Reds. Shout out to Araton, who we interviewed recently. And we linked up with Mike. Mike always wanted to do something, because I think he's St. Lucian, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
And he wanted to do something for the Caribbean, and he saw what we were doing. He saw the noise we were making with the Sock Passe tees,
Mhm.
and came up with a dope collaboration, a dope design, and that marketing, that branding.
Oh,
I mean,
it
we
was
took
crazy.
over Miami.
Yeah.
It was lit.
It was
Yeah.
lit.
Dope.
We literally had, I remember it was Flag Weekend was in May, and I think we linked up with them with that whole team like sometime end of March.
Yeah, end of March. Yeah,
end of March. Yeah.
So
and we made it happen.
Yeah, we made it happen.
We made it happen.
We made it happen.
Made it happen. Yeah. Exclusive tees. They'll never see those tees again.
Yeah.
And
right?
everyone in Miami had it on. Like every time the camera, everyone had that T-shirt on. The pop-up shop we did was just, and we had collaborated right before that with Ayala Go Cremas.
Right.
So they had the Cafe Olé Cremas, and you know that they were also down there marketing. And Rest in Peace Kango Kid came out.
Rest in Peace Kango
support.
Kid. Wow.
And we had Haitian Grimo. We had Stags come through. We had so many people.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
Yeah,
it was definitely a vibe, man.
Richard LeCoin, he does photography. He just took pictures of Amala and Nega. He came through.
Right.
Yep.
Mecca. Who else? Everybody.
There were a lot of people.
It was a lot of people.
And shout out to Appointment Only because they hosted the event. They hosted the event, and it was just the register was just going.
Yeah.
Nah, it was a successful event from beginning to end. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Another highlight. Got to talk about Times Square, the billboard.
Yes.
Big, big, colossal.
Colossal. That was huge.
Colossal big.
Yeah. That was huge.
SK, we got the call. She's like, I think, no, she didn't say I think. She's like, guys, I have an opportunity for you guys to get a billboard in Times Square. I'm like, what? How
did that even happen?
How did that even happen? She's like, look, I got the connect. Like, she's finessing it. She was like, look, you gotta, do a photo shoot, do what you gotta do, and boom, there you go. We had Denalci up there, we had Team Sapase up there.
Models Merson and Erica.
Shout out to Merson and Erica.
Gil took the picture.
Gil, and we were there, and I remember for the unveiling, for the first time it showed up.
Lee Milan. Shout out to Lee Milan. That was another publicist that I worked with. And she definitely was a great influence.
For sure.
Wow.
Just it was just great branding, great, as you said, as a publicist, it's about brand awareness, and you did an awesome job for us.
Yeah, and Lee Milan came out to support.
Definitely.
My sister. Who else? It was a lot of us. Jay Dollars, Gil. It was dope.
Nah, it was dope.
And you guys were on Fashion Week.
Oh,
yes.
So
that was big.
Independent Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. That was big for us too.
And that's how we met the models too, Mercer and Erica. I think.
No, before.
We met them before.
Yeah.
Was it before?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
we met them before.
It was before because I knew Merson and I asked him, and Erica. I knew them, so I asked him to model for you guys.
Yes.
Oh, that was another blowout.
Yeah.
So glad.
Here we go again. Me again.
Yo, let me tell you, these two right here, they
legendary arguments.
Oh,
just legendary.
They're hilarious.
I got him a photographer, Gil, and I said, okay, Gil's gonna do it for you. He's really good, and there's some other, I don't know, some person. And I was like, do you see their work?
Oh, yes.
I was like, why would you want to pay them? I said, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I said, I don't care. I said, guess what? Gil's not doing it. How about that? You figure it out. That was the first argument.
Yeah.
That was the first argument we had. Yep. That was the first argument. And
that was, oops.
It was bad. But again, thank God, SK's here at the table. You know what I'm saying? We were able to figure it all out. It was all good, man. It was all good. It was a lot, man.
Nah, it was a lot. And we are thankful for the experience.
Very thankful. Definitely thankful.
And this is this journey. With pretty much we were all over the place.
And SK was there to help guide us through and through, and we appreciate you. Created some great memories, some great branding experiences that people will never forget. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you have a new baby, Te Noi TV.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Tell the world, what is Te Noi TV?
So Te Noi TV came about during the pandemic. I reached out to my best friend Ruby Charles, shout out to Ruby. And I said, hey, I have an opportunity, like everything, a lot of things just fall into my lap, right? So I said, we have an opportunity to start a television channel. Let's you know, and she's always wanted to be in television. So we created Te Noi TV, Te Noir meaning black tea in French. And I just, you know, we both were thinking about our grandparents. Anytime they want to tell us a story, they sipping on tea. If you're sick, you're sipping on tea. It could be hot outside, you make iced tea, right? So tea just, you know, was a way to center around, you know, conversations. And so we came about with Te Noi TV to focus on cultural diversity, and meaning that, you know, a Haitian American growing up in Brooklyn is different from a Haitian American growing up in Miami. We have different experiences, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Even Boston, even Haitians from New York and Jersey, we're different, right? And so we wanted to focus on diversity within the culture. I was telling Glad today, like when I went to college, I met a lot of black kids that were into anime. I met a lot of black kids that were skaters. But growing up in Newark, I really didn't see that. Almost everybody was just into hip hop. We were into hip hop in Newark, Elizabeth, you know, Irvington. Everybody was into hip hop or house music. But when I went to college, I met so many people who weren't into that. I'm like, wow, that's different. And so Te Noi TV focuses on diversity within the cultures. So, you know, there's the Asian culture, and we mostly know about the Chinese, you know, some Vietnamese, but you know, what about the Filipino culture? You know, the you know, people from Bali, things like that. And so that's why we created a channel to allow storytellers to tell from their perspective, and for your story to be seen, you know, and have, you know, representation just really matter. Because when they talk about Caribbeans, always someone Jamaican. We're not all Jamaican. You know, we're not, you know, and even within the Jamaican culture, they have their own nuances, you know, and so those are the things we want to highlight.
Gotcha.
You know,
Nice.
And how can people find the network?
we are on all streaming platforms. You could download it on your phone, Amazon Fire Stick, Hulu, just anywhere. Just type in Te Noir TV and you'll find us.
Dope.
Download us, please, and follow us on Instagram at Te Noir TV. That's TENOIR TV.
Got you.
Wow.
I want to talk really quick, Rob, about how SK recently just saved us with that brunch that we did. Remember, you were supposed to remind me about relationships.
Yes, relationships.
Relationships are key. We were doing this brunch, guys, right? We were doing a brunch. It was in November. We were doing it at
Loft BKNY?
No,
originally at Zummy.
At Zummy restaurant, but they had to do renovations last minute.
Right. Shout out to Wes and Jock and the whole family.
Shout out to Wes.
Zummy.
We're gonna be back there soon because they just opened up.
Absolutely.
But we was already promoting it.
Yeah.
We were right.
Literally.
It was out there. Everybody was excited to come.
Right.
And then last minute, you know, Wes had to
last
minute, and it's all good. You know,
Yeah.
Look, things happen, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're there like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna cancel it? Are we gonna we didn't know what to do, and I call SK. That's the only person we know, right?
I love when he texts. He's like, "So we'll have a question."
I'm like, "Yo, we call SK if we don't know."
SK. Let's see what SK has to say.
Let's see what SK has to say, right?
I'm like, okay.
So she goes, "What do y'all want now? What's
no hello.
What's wrong now?
What do y'all want from my life?
Right? What do y'all want now? Right?" So, you know, we tell her the situation, you know, the flyer's already out. People already coming. They can't wait. You know, we haven't been out in a while.
Right.
They're excited to come hang out with us, right?
Right.
So, we don't have a venue now.
Yeah.
Right? DJ's confirmed. You know,
everything is confirmed.
The merch is confirmed. We're
guests
doing
for the podcast.
Guests for the podcast
Guests for the
confirmed.
podcast,
Everything's
yeah.
confirmed, but no venue. Yeah. So SK's like, I'll call you back. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'll call you back. And then she calls me back, right? I didn't tell Rob anything because Rob is, you know, he's probably got punching holes right now through the wall. But SK's like, yo, don't you know Edley? And I'm like, yeah, Edley from who used to be at Chloe's, who's now at BK. I was like, yeah, Edley from BK. Why don't you just reach out to her? And I'm like, yeah, Edley, BK. And that's what we did. We reached out to her. Did you reach out to her? You had
No, I had you do it.
All right, so I reached out to her.
I kept telling the show must go on. Like,
right, so
it has to go on.
Right.
Yeah.
So SK, yeah, that's what you said before you got on the phone. You said the show must go on.
Right.
I'll call you back. I'll figure it out. But she said the show must go on. She said you're not canceling.
Yeah.
So she was like, yo, don't you know Ed Lee from BK Law? Like, reach out to her. And we reached out, and she was with open arms. She said, yeah, come through. Let's have a meeting. Let's figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Within days, we had a new venue. And
it was like 2 days. It was
probably
maybe 2 days before the event.
We had our graphic guy switch up the flyer.
Right.
New address.
Yeah.
It was literally like a mile apart.
Right.
The venues are a mile apart, so it wasn't a crazy distance.
Right.
And it was a successful event.
Yes.
Power of networking, relationships, key.
Yeah.
Thank you, SK, for saving the day.
That was big. Thank you. She gave us the alley oop on that because we were literally about to cancel.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
So we walk up and it's like, okay, act like as if nothing.
And SK is all about the show must go on. That's all. I mean, that's her attitude with everything. It's all about.
I remember
if the show must go on. So thanks for saving the day.
The show must go on.
For
Absolutely.
sure. Before you get out of here, we have to talk about something else that's dear to your heart, and a lot of people may not know about that. You're an attorney.
Yes.
An immigration attorney.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So obviously you went to law school.
Yes.
What school did you go to practice or to study law?
I went to Texas Southern University Thurgood Marshall School of Law in Houston. You know, it's a black school. TSU.
No doubt.
I went to.
You might as well just tell people your sorority right now.
Zeta Phi Beta. So
here we go.
And but I went to Rutgers University undergrad, and I love my experience at Rutgers University, and I love my experience at TSU. Law school was a great experience, great learning experience, because it took me out of the East Coast, and it was my first time in the dirty South. You know, I definitely had culture shock, you know, because the East Coast, everything is fast. Your buses and trains, everybody's talking fast, And you know me, I like to dress up. So I went to class dressed to the nines in heels every day. My nails are always done. That was me.
Right.
And my classmates, some of them were like, Janae, where you going? We going class. And I'm like, yeah, but I gotta look, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, down like you know, when we have exams, I was telling Gladys earlier, what motivated me was listening to hip hop. My classmates would listen to gospel. So
really,
yeah, they would listen to gospel before a test. Not me. I was listening to the Locks. We Gonna Make It. That was my song. So
that's what's up.
You know, you know, and then I would listen to We Gonna Make It and Eminem's Lose Control. Those were our two songs that I listened from first year law school till I graduated and took the bar. Law school is definitely.
So you was definitely like, you know, Haitian parents. Either you're a lawyer, an engineer, or a doctor.
No, my mom and dad weren't like that. They were strict about education, but they wanted me to do what I, you know, enjoyed, but be successful at it. Right?
Oh, that's
so they weren't like, you have to be a doctor, you have to, because you know, I went to school for med school, but then I volunteered at a hospital, and this man died in front of me, and I was like, yeah, that's not me. So I was a candy striper at the time in the hospital, and I saw it flatline people running in because I went to put ice in his cup,
right?
And I was like, that's
wow,
that's not for me.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to go to law school because I was working as an editorial assistant at RIA, which is now known as Thomson Reuters, and the attorney there was like, you could be an attorney, like you're really intelligent, so you should go to law school. And I was like, you know what, okay. And that's how it started. That's how it started for me. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Now go ahead,
right? No, I was just gonna say, so what kind of law are you studying now? So
I'm an immigration attorney.
Oh, immigration.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after I graduated law school, I passed the bar in the first try. That's, you know,
congrats. Not easy.
And after that, especially my law school, we had like a stigma attached to us because we were Black, you know. So we definitely like came together, and you know, all of us to make sure that we passed on the first try. And kudos to my class 2004. And after that, I clerked for a federal judge, Judge Kenneth Hoyt, which was a great experience. Not too many people get that opportunity. And after that, I worked for the SBA, and then I moved back to Jersey, and then I was doing some like pharmaceutical law, and then I delved into immigration law. And I always wanted to do immigration law. When I was a child, I remember immigration officers coming to our house because they said the lady that lived downstairs wasn't a resident, and they ransacked her house. And my mom just had my sister at the time, and I was like 5, and they were just very rude. And I just remembered that. It stuck in my mind. I'm like, I never want that to happen to anyone, you know? And so, and she had her papers, just someone reported saying she didn't have papers, and they scared this lady. She was like 60 something years old, you know?
Wow.
No, she was older than that. But anyway, that stuck in my mind. And so I always wanted to do immigration. But at the time, firms were only hiring you if you spoke Spanish. I didn't speak Spanish, so I couldn't really find an immigration job. But with the advent of TPS, they needed Haitian attorneys. And so that's how I got into immigration law, because they needed Creole speaking attorneys. And guys, young Haitian Americans, learn Creole. You never know where it's going to take you.
True. Sound like my grandmother.
Yeah, just it's true though. You never know where it's going to take you. And so because I was able to speak Creole, I'm the only Creole speaking attorney at CUNY University, CUNY Citizenship Now program. And I've helped so many Haitians get their citizenship, renew their green cards, file for their family members out of the country, or do adjustment of status in the United States. I've done some speaking engagements, actually having a speaking engagement this Thursday to discuss TPS. And, you know, everyone has an immigration, you know, situation, right? And so I don't just help Haitians, but the majority of the people I help are Haitians, because I'm in the Brooklyn area. But I do help Jamaicans, Trinidad, anybody, you know, Latinos, Russians, and I love it because I get to meet different cultures too.
And it's big now.
Yeah,
that's a huge situation right now in this country.
Yeah. What are your day-to-day activities or duties as a
it varies.
Immigration attorney?
It varies because we mostly do family-based immigration. So most of my clients are filing to get their citizenship. And then once they get their citizenship, if their children is in the United States, they file for them to get their citizenship. A lot of people have family back home, and so I help them file what's called an I-130 to do consular processing to bring them over. Or some of them are here and then they get married to a U.S. citizen and they do the adjustment of status in the United States. So it's explaining what the process is. It's helping them get their paperwork. It's helping them file the paperwork. And CUNY, we offer free services to the community. And so that's pretty much it. What I do on a daily
so maybe
basis.
One day we need to do, because I know that's huge in the community, you know, especially with this whole TPS situation, especially in Miami. Like in the last couple of years, I've been seeing a lot of more situations, you know, and perhaps like one day we need to do something like and feature you as a guest speaker and talking about the TPS, you know, way to talk to the community.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
How long does it usually take to file, to get everything in order, your paperwork?
Some people are very meticulous, so they have everything, and so in a day. And then some people it takes a while, because when the earthquake happened in Haiti, a lot of documents were destroyed, and so they have to go back and get those documents. And it's hard right now in Haiti because of everything that's going on. The offices are closed. Some people have to do DNA testing. So the parent will do it here in the US, but in Haiti, they can't do it because it's closed. And there's no way to know when it's going to be open. You never know when a kidnapping is about to happen or a thing like that. So that's the situation right now. And the consulate is not really open. So people are waiting. They have interviews. They submitted everything, but now they have to wait for the consulate to open for them to do their interview to travel here. So some people have been waiting a year and still have not heard from the consulate in Haiti because it's closed.
And what you do, whoever's president or put in these laws, kind of like it's important who's president, right? Because with the laws, they can change certain laws right now. Gotcha.
Right. So immigration law is really the president has the say. So the first TPS that Obama put into place, President Trump wanted to eliminate that. And so now people with TPS right now from the initial TPS, we're telling them to file under the new TPS that Biden redesignated, because the one that they have the courts could say it's no longer available,
right? And
then you're stuck. So now that Biden's TPS is available, go ahead and file for that one.
Gotcha.
Because you'll have 2 years with that one.
Got it.
That you can renew every 2 years.
Got it. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Very informative stuff.
No, we definitely need to have another sit down as far as immigration law, because that's like, that's a totally different.
That's a deep conversation.
Deep
for sure.
conversation.
Is there anything that you would like to tell the people who are who may want to file for TPS? Any advice?
Contact an attorney. Don't leave it to your friends or family. Oh, I filed it 5 years ago. It's a different set of rules. So definitely find an attorney. There's so many organizations that can help for free, such as CUNY Citizenship Now, Catholic Charities, NILAG, Caribbean Women's Organization, New York Bar, Brooklyn Defenders. There's so many free resources for to help you file for TPS. Haitian, which is HOPE, which is the Haitian Alliance. I forget the acronym. It's HAUP. They also help, and they speak Creole. So there's so many resources out there. Don't leave it to chance and have someone file it for you and they file it wrong, or they file the wrong one.
Because that could set back.
That could set you back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or they could reach out to you.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
That was perfect segue.
Perfect segue. I think it's time for the sock by say.
Yeah.
Joe.
There we go. So
before you get out of here, SK, random question. Don't get scared.
I'm never scared.
Okay.
She's definitely not. We got a new jar and everything. We lit.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? That's hard. If I could live anywhere in the world.
Random questions that make you think. Good question.
I was thinking about this. Somewhere warm. So I've never been, but I've always said I want to live in either Bora Bora or the Maldives.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, because it's warm, it's tropical, it's beautiful.
Okay.
It's different. And I just thrive in the sun. In the wintertime, I hate winter.
You don't like the New York snow and
absolutely not.
-20.
No,
it's been cold these past couple.
Yeah.
Really, you don't like it?
I don't like Fiji.
No, you don't like up north.
I love up north. I love the swag. I love the how we are, how we talk, how we communicate with each other. I love that, but.
The weather
is
I
can see that.
I'm just definitely not feeling the weather.
I definitely agree.
But I'm not into tropical storms. I'm not into animals. I'm not into snakes. So that might be an issue. I don't like bugs.
Just stay here. Just stay up north. Just stay up north.
Just stay here. Yeah, you don't like bugs.
But I mean, that's where I would live, in a bubble, though.
Got you.
Dope.
Thanks for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Extremely.
There's one word that I think of when it comes to SK, and that's loyalty.
Yeah.
And you've been very loyal to us.
Yes.
And our brand and all of the stuff that, you've been through with us through thick and thin. You're still here. You've been loyal to us, and we really, really appreciate it. That's why we appreciate you so much. Because you could have left a long time ago. A long time ago, right, Rob?
Yeah, facts.
You could have left a long time ago, but you believed in us, and
still
sorry, and just saying I apologize, and like it'll never happen again.
In a humble situation,
being humble, it goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
And
absolutely.
Always listen to your publicists out there, guys.
Yes.
Always listen to your publicists. Yes. They know.
Yeah.
So SK, thank you for doing this. Let people know where they could check you out.
Before I let everyone know where you can check me out, I just want to say I appreciate working with you guys. You guys are like my brothers. And yes, we may argue and go back and forth, but it's all love.
Yes.
You know, and I just want to see you guys win. I just want you guys to be successful. And I know you want the same for me.
Yes.
And as a publicist, sometimes your clients become your friends and they become your family. And also because of Glad and Rob, I met Kenko Kid, which was a very good friend of mine.
Kenko Kid,
rest in peace.
And I remember Glad called me, hey San, let's see if we could get Kang recognized at the Haitian Roundtable. And I said, okay, we could also get him recognized at the Creole Image Honors. And I was able to help facilitate that for Kang, and ever since then we're tight, and him passing away really
that was your Leo brother.
And he got allured to sing to me on my birthday, remember? And just a nice person, and I appreciate him so much, but it's because of you guys that I was able to develop that friendship, and he trusted me to help him in his endeavors in the Haitian community. So just wanted to give him a shout out. I love Kang.
No doubt. Definitely love Kang. I know he's watching right now.
Shout out to the family.
So I don't, I'm a thug. I don't tear up. No.
Thug who listens to the Locks and Eminem.
I'm gangster now. But yeah, Kang is, just wanted to make sure I said that. But you can find me on Instagram, and I love TikTok, although I really don't post on TikTok. I love TikTok. I'm on it all day. I'm Sandi Kane, SANDIKANE 15. And my public relations page is SK_public relations. But I really, really want you to find me on Te Noir, TENOIR TV on Instagram and all social media platforms.
Yes.
Wow. Rob, housekeeping items.
Wow. Whew. That was deep. This was good. Housekeeping items. Remember, we have the new layout here. Team Sock Passe podcast below. Subscribe, share, comment. All streaming platforms, all of your
social media
platforms, your comments. We'll have the guest information and comments that you want to give. And yeah, that's it. Thank you, SK.
Thank you, SK.
It's an honor, and this is just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Team Sock Passe, we out.